Good morning everyone and welcome to this week's pet pairing, which sadly is also going to be the last time this week that I wear makeup, because as of tomorrow we're going on a little family getaway weekend until Sunday, and I don't foresee wearing much makeup during those days, so sadly I need to kiss my makeup goodbye until next Monday. Let's just get started on the makeup with, as usual, applying my Auric Glow Lust underneath my eyes. So do you want to hear a really funny story about how clueless I am? So on Sunday I was just about to do my makeup because I really wanted to wear that mint green shade from the Tom Ford Soleil Lune Quad as a one and done eyeshadow, because I kind of tried it the day before just on one of my eyes and I really liked how it looked. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do a quick look just using that eyeshadow on Sunday, because we have some family and friends coming over and, you know, why not? And then I thought, wait, I can maybe try to do an Instagram reel where I just turn on the camera, I do my makeup, and then wham bam, you know, just upload it on Instagram. I made the video, I edited the video just as I usually would in iMovie, and I got it to be as short as 2 minutes and 30 something seconds. Let me grab my concealer now. I'm going to grab my instant concealer from Clarins. Obviously not the original packaging, I just depotted this. Ugh. I'm so sorry, the woos of hay fever have started. It is not pretty. So I go on to upload my little reel on Instagram, and then every time I go to watch the final video before I click on, you know, share, I see that he just cuts the video to 60 seconds and I'm like, why the fuck is he doing that? What's going on? And then it finally occurs to me, let's ask Google, how long are Instagram reels, you know, allowed to be at their longest? Lo and behold, everyone, 60 seconds, aka 1 minute, which means that I was about 1.5 times longer than the upper limit for an Instagram reel. So I went back, I tried to edit the video down to exactly 1 minute, and I just removed things that I thought were non-essential anyway. But yeah, I think it's a great representation how clueless I am when it comes to social media. I'm going to grab my Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude. I don't know whether you guys have noticed, probably you have because it's pretty fucking obvious, but I have little, let's call them hyperpigmentation spots, not old lady spots. I have some hyperpigmentation here that unfortunately appeared relatively recently, I want to say about a year ago. I've had this one for quite a really long time, and I've noticed some little spots here, a little one popping up here. So overall they've been really sprouting left and right the last few years. And a couple of weeks ago, especially now with the sun out, even with my SPF, I noticed that especially the one on my forehead was getting really fucking angry. So I kind of stepped up my game with my skincare, and I started using my vitamin C serum, not only every other day or twice a week as I usually do, but every day. Every fucking day I put it in my together with one of my other skincare products. So I alternate retinol, I alternate niacinamide, stuff like that, but vitamin C is now permanently present in my skincare routine. And something that I've been too lazy about, but I also started doing recently, is, you know, I'm a huge fan of Forio's skincare devices, and I have two Luna Minis, my older one and my new one. And I basically use my new one for, you know, my face cleanse, and my old one I saved to use with my skincare. But of course, lazy as that I am, I've been using it with my skincare once every 3 months or something. Really, really lame. But you know, seeing it in all of my photos was very confrontational, especially with this spot here. And I'm not someone who can easily anymore, you know, at this age, at the tender age of almost 40, I finally have gotten over a lot of insecurities, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know, it's part of the process. But this spot in particular is just bothering me because it's smack in the middle of my face. So every time I would take a picture for Instagram or a little story, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that thing is just so big and so angry. So like I said, I started using my vitamin C serum every day, and I started using my Luna Mini in order to try to do what people have always recommended this device for, aside from face cleansing, which would be to push your skincare with the T-sonic pulsations a little bit deeper into your skin. So I've started doing that as well. We're doing the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. And I've started kind of using the device basically in layers. So I will put my first layer, which will be my toner, my niacinamide or BHA. I kind of alternate the two, sometimes I mix them. And then I will put my more lightweight products, which would be my discoloration serum mixed in with my vitamin C. So after each layer, I will just do like a slight treatment with my Foreo device. And I have the feeling that this spot is a little bit less angry than it was a week ago. A week ago it was big, it was dark, it was just going places where I wasn't really comfortable. I think the edges have decreased a little bit, the actual pigmentation of the spot has decreased a little bit, so I'm really happy that it's sort of working, because now I'm a little bit concerned what happens when we go on summer holiday this year and I am going to be a bit more exposed to the sun. I will of course be using SPF like 50 and above when I'm at the beach, but you never know. So I think I will need to maintain this permanently now, or at least over the course of the whole summer, because I think over the winter it was already doing much better, but that was probably because we didn't get much sun. So now in the summer I will really need to step up my game with antioxidants, and especially something like vitamin C. For my bronzer today I'm taking the Nabla Skin Bronzing in the shade Dune. Okay, switching from one completely random topic to a totally different random topic, because I was just thinking about it earlier when I was on YouTube. I want to complain about something which may be really petty, but it just annoys me super much. I hate when people have dumbass thumbnails where they make a face like they're having a stroke or something. Honestly, it will make me unsubscribe from people, as nice as they are, as much as I enjoy their content, if they're putting dumbass thumbnails. If they put a dumbass thumbnail a couple of times, I'm like, checking out. I will not click on the video with the dumbass thumbnails, and I will eventually unsubscribe. I'm fully aware of the fact that the dumber your thumbnail looks, the more views you're going to get, and obviously most people on YouTube are there to get more views and more subscribers. And as someone who has been on this platform for a really long time and has only 1.6k subscribers, obviously I'm doing something wrong. But I would rather drink arsenic than make one of those dumbass thumbnails. I just find them so cringy and so childish and like so unnecessary. Also, you may have noticed I'm taking, by the way, the Bridgerton Blushing Delights palette, and I think I'm going to use the only blush that I haven't tried yet, which is the pinkish one. You may have noticed that you will hardly ever see even my face on my thumbnails. When I first started, obviously everyone was, you know, posting a photo of themselves in their thumbnail, and I just thought that's the standard and I should be doing it as well. And like last year or the year before, I can't remember exactly when it occurred to me that this is my fucking YouTube channel and I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I was like, you know what, I actually hate being on my thumbnails. I don't like having my face on every single thumbnail, because obviously people are here for the makeup, not to look at my, you know, stupid faces that I can't even make. So I stopped doing them. By the way, a real quick comment about the formula of the blushes, the Blushing Delights formula blushes, so the baked ones from Pat. They are quite lovely. I've now tried all the 3 colors, and while this is not my color, this bubblegummy pink is not my color, I'm probably going to use the berry and the coral the most, obviously. But what I really like about these is they're like a thin veil of like glow. They're such a nice formula. I love how they blend out. I love how subtly glowy they are, and what like a thin lightweight veil on the skin they are. I think her original blushes, while they are a lovely formula, have a much more thicker feeling to them on the skin. Thicker, not in a bad way, but you know, thicker is what I mean. Also, I am not too fond of this highlighter shade together with these 2 shades, so I am going to use this highlighter, but I am actually going to mix it in with something a little bit more pink, because I want to give it a bit more of like a peach hue. So I'm going to take the Lunar Nude highlighter, and I'm basically going to run my little fan brush here on both products in order to mix them together and create more like a peach sheen rather than a truly like yellow gold, which would be this one. Anyway, yeah, so that's the reason you never really see me on my thumbnails anymore. I think the makeup and the eyeshadow palettes are much prettier to look at than my face. You know my face already, you don't have to see it in every single thumbnail. I'm going to spritz my sponge here with Fix Plus in order to melt all the powders on my face, and also shove a little bit here underneath my eyes to make sure that that Clarins concealer remains a bit more moist underneath my eyes throughout the day. So on Monday I did this look with a subliminal palette, which I also just posted on my Instagram, but basically those are my kidney organoid babies. Anyway, we're not looking at that today. I did this sort of like blocky outlining of my eyes with the Blitz Blue shade from the Subliminal palette, and I've been enjoying this like blocky eyeshadow look for the past couple of days. So we're doing that today, and we're going to do it in purple, but I am actually going to start off with Synthetica, which is one of the most beautiful purples you have ever seen. So I'm going to try to basically use this eyeshadow again to outline here like this around my eyes, and then only go with the lighter purple shade. So I'm taking a little bit on a little pencil brush, and the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not even going to put on like a, if you wanted to have some sort of a transition shade, you can lay that down first, but I'm immediately going to go with Synthetica and just start applying this here as like a little thick block. And I enjoy the fact that it's like thicker. So I'm just going to first build it up a little bit like this, and then I'm going to lightly take it out. And yesterday I fucked up on one of my eyes and I took it out a little too far. And the idea is that you take it out in this sort of like messy outer corner. It doesn't have to be an actual winged shape. It just has to be a little bit more like shaped out and thicker towards the outer side of your eye, if that makes any sense. So I'm just going to do this now, and then I'm going to lightly give this a bit of a blend here to slightly smoke it out, and then I'm going to repeat on my other eye. Once again, I'm a bit too late with zooming you in, but you know, we're just getting started. So I'm going to give that a light little blendy blend here, and don't worry, it doesn't have to be sharp or something, it just needs to actually look a little bit messy almost. Next I'm going to take my Midnight Sun palette, and we're going to go into this beautiful purple over here, which I can never for the life of me remember the name of, on this Worker Pro, yeah, the Worker Pro brush from Sonia G, which is basically a brush with which you can pack and lightly blend out edges. Like I said, if you wanted to, you could have like a little transition shade going on in your crease, but I don't really mind just having Blitz Purple, no, Blitz, whatever this one is called, in the Midnight Sun palette and just blowing it out in my crease, because I like the Blitz shades that way. And hopefully it's going to work out, because I think the two purples are actually slightly different tones. But let's see. I'm going to put this on now in a very light layer. You also don't want to put too thick of a layer, because we are going to put some sparklies over top of that as well. I'm just using this as a little bit of like a purplish base, like a lighter purplish base. And then I'm going to blend it out. Now, because this shade from the Midnight Sun palette is actually a little bit deeper in tone than I remember it being, I'm not really going to layer more of it, because I want there to be at least some sort of contrast between that blocky purple on my lashes and the lid. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit more of that purple, but I'm going to concentrate it here towards the lashes, like this. And now we're finally going to take some glitter glue. You can also use your Intensifies wand from Pat McGrath Labs. I'm going to take my NYX glitter glue, and I'm going to apply this first into my inner corners, and then just apply a tiny bit here over top of the Midnight Sun purple shade on my lid. And then I'm going to just use my finger, going into the first Bridgerton palette and taking obviously the Astral shade to layer here, especially towards the center of the lid, to lighten it up a little bit. So I need that astral to look a little bit more wet, so I'm going to take my brush with a bit of the astral on it and spritz with Fix Plus and try to very strategically whack that right here in the center of the lid, like I said, for some extra glow and light. Next I'm going to take the Belle of the Ball, so the Bridgerton 2 palette, and I'm going to apply this delightful pastel mint shade into my inner corners, of course. I don't mind, I like this shade as a lid shade, but I adore it as an inner corner highlight because it just glows. And finally, before I go on to applying mascara, I'm going to take my Intensifies wand from Pat McGrath Labs because I want to have something on the lower lash line that the Synthetica shade can really stick to. And I'm going to apply the final part of this look, which is going to be another thick block of purple underneath, kind of like meeting up with the one that we applied on the upper lashes. And you can start slowly without going too far down and then bring it more down later. I'm applying a tiny bit of this purple eye pencil from Urban Decay that is getting almost impossible to use. I completed the look with a negligee, which I have also really been enjoying. It's just such a beautiful nude, such a comfortable, wonderful formula. I think this may be one of my favorite nudes that I have ever seen from Pat McGrath, because I feel like a lot of her other nudes either lean too cool toned or too brown, and I just never could find one that is peachy enough. I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, before we part ways, I've actually put one of the pieces that I scored last week when I had my day off and we went to the outlet that I wanted to quickly show you. So this is probably my second favorite item that I scored in the outlet last week, is this beautiful white denim jacket from Ted Baker with the most gorgeous balloon sleeves on it. Alright y'all, I'm going to head to work. Don't forget to let me know what you thought about this look. I do think that the look with the Subliminal palette was just a little bit more striking because of the higher contrast between the gold shade and the Blitz Blue shade, and also just the way Blitz Blue looks in combination with my brown eyes. I think in my memory I had that purple shade from the Midnight Sun palette being a lighter tone, so there isn't as much contrast today, but I still really like how it turned out. I hope you did too. Don't forget to let me know your opinions on everything else that I rambled about, especially the dumbass thumbnails that people like to post on their YouTube videos. Are you also salty and petty about it, or can you rise above it and watch the video anyway? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!